Okay. So in today's session, we'll see secondary ledger. First, we'll go through configuration, then we'll test the process. To test this secondary ledger functionality, okay, we'll see what setups required. So we know very well if you want to report from primary with a different conversion other than currency, okay, in different only currencies we can go with the reporting ledger. Say your chart of accounts are different. We cannot report with a reporting ledger. Only the option is secondary ledger. Now to test this functionality, we'll just create separate chart of accounts with the two segments. Our primary chart of accounts has three segments. Now we'll say our requirement is we want to report only two segments data. So in that case, we have to create the separate chart of accounts with the two segments. And against that, we'll create report secondary ledger. What are the transactions we record in the primary ledger? Those will be reported to secondary ledger with only two segments data. If you want to report in the different currency, yes, we can just create secondary ledger with a different currency and we can define the daily rates. If you want to report in the same currency, just different segments conversion, chart of accounts you want to maintain separately, we don't need to set up any rates and we can go with the same currency in secondary ledger also. Fine, we'll see that. First, what we'll do is we'll go and create the chart of accounts. We'll create the chart of accounts with the two segments. Say create chart of accounts. Say chart of accounts for secondary ledger. Okay, we'll just take two segments. Do this. And now we'll just once we are ready with the chart of accounts with the two segments, we can create secondary ledger. Say create secondary ledger, and we have to set ledger options. Say specify ledger options, and once secondary ledger is ready, we have to do the mapping between secondary and primary ledger chart of accounts. Say map primary and secondary ledger COA chart of accounts. After completing the chart of accounts mapping, we have to map the ledgers. So create mapping between primary ledger and the secondary ledger. Fine. So after completing these setups, to test the functionality, we'll create the separate user who can have access to secondary ledger. So create user. We'll name it as Google secondary ledger SL. I'm just writing as a secondary ledger. And assign required roles, which roles allow this Google secondary ledger user to have access to any ledger related functionality. I mean to say GL. Say assign GL roles to user and provide data access for user. For secondary ledger user will map the secondary ledger access. Say provide data access for user. Here we'll assign secondary ledger to the user roles. After completing that, we have to run LDAP job and we have to open periods in secondary ledger. Okay, these are the basic setups we have to complete to implement secondary ledger future. After completing these setups, we'll go and create journal in primary ledger, and once you post it within the primary ledger, that should be reported to secondary ledger with only two segments data. Okay, find journal in secondary ledger. Okay, with only two segments. So if you want to go with a different currency, here you will be selecting the different currency which is different from primary, and the additional setup is you have to define the conversion rates. Now we'll go with the same currency. Anyway, we are just making the difference with the chart of accounts. Fine, we'll go and create the chart of accounts with the two segments. So already we have value sets and all. We can go and use the same. You can search for the task called as chart of account structure. Okay, manage chart of account structures. Just click on go to task icon. Okay, search for accounting flex field. Just go to manage structures to create the chart of account structure with the two segments. Say create. So we can give the name as new Google secondary flex. Select the delimiter, which is segment separator, and save this information, and system will enable segment function. Click on create. Say segment is company. You can copy the same and you can use wherever you require. So we have all the fields related to that only, just you can provide. Display width say 30, and column name is segment 1. And default value set. Okay. Select same value set which we are using for our primary ledger related chart of account structure. The value set name is new Google company. Search. That's not fetching. In some pages, system just verifies case sensitive also. So now you can get it. New Google company value set. So for company you can assign segment label called as primary balancing segment. And say save and close. And we'll have one more segment called as account. Say account. So second segment, display width we can go with a 30. Segment 2. And select default value set. So we are using value set as corporate account, right? We can select the same. So select corporate account value set for our segment. So corporate account, say OK. So this value set will get assigned to our segment. And for this segment, we have to select label called as natural account, right? So select natural account segment label and say save and close. Now against this chart of account structure, we have to create chart of account structure instance, right? So now we'll go and create the chart of account structure instance. Just click on done. Go to manage structure instances. Say create. Say new Google. This structure for secondary ledger, right? So secondary flex field. So anyway, API name system will take automatically. And select our chart of account structure. Right, this is chart of account structure we created. And enable two segments which are available in this chart of account structure. Select account, click on edit. Enable it as a required into instance. Enable. Save OK. So select company and click on edit. Say required. Just click on OK. So save and close. Now we have to deploy this accounting flex field. So we created chart of account structure and instance for secondary ledger. You can see the deployment status as edited. Click on deploy flex field. So it takes minimum 5 minutes time because we have many chart of account structures and instances in this environment. So just I'll stop the recording meantime. Fine. So now this we could see the confirmation as the deployment is completed. Just say OK. Fine, we are ready with the chart of account structure, and against that instance also we created and we deployed. So we completed this. Now we'll go and create the secondary ledger. So the purpose is second reporting purpose, but by using the same function called as primary ledger, we'll create the secondary ledger. So we'll go and create the secondary ledger. Just click on done. Search for secondary. Here we have a task called as manage secondary ledgers. Manage secondary ledgers. Click on this manage secondary ledgers. And we are going to create the secondary ledger against this primary ledger. So primary ledger already selected in the scope. So you can click on go to task icon. So here is our primary ledger. So against that we are going to create the secondary ledger. Click on create. So primary ledger information, secondary ledger, say new Google secondary ledger, and select chart of accounts. Okay, new Google secondary flex field. Select accounting calendar. And currency along with this chart of accounts difference, if you want to report in the different currency, so you can select different currency, or else if you want to report in the same USD with the chart of accounts difference, you can go with the USD one. So we don't need to set any conversion also. So accounting method, you can select or ignore, just we are doing within the GL. By ignoring also you can data conversion level, say journals done. So now you can say save and edit. Sorry, it's secondary ledger, right? It just you can ignore it, no issues. Ignore it, or else adjustments only you can select. Okay, just save it. So secondary ledger we created. Now we have to set ledger options for secondary ledger. So specify ledger options. Select our secondary ledger. So this is the one. Right, select, say save and close. Select accounting code combination. Okay, select account code combination, only company and account, these two segments only we have. So company, say 1000. Account, select returned earnings account. Say okay. Just click on OK. Fine, done. And say save and close. So we completed secondary ledger, we specified ledger options. Now we have to perform the mapping between primary and secondary ledger chart of accounts. Okay. Here just you can drag little right. So complete primary to secondary ledger mapping. This is ledger mapping. Ledger mapping. Now we have to map the chart of accounts. Search for chart of accounts mapping. Search for the task called as chart of accounts mapping. So manage chart of accounts mapping. So the primary ledger and the secondary ledger chart of accounts segments we have to map. Click on go to task icon. Just click on create. Provide the name. New Google COA mapping. So target chart of account. Target chart of account is secondary ledger chart of accounts. Source chart of account is primary ledger chart of accounts. So between these two chart of accounts, we have to do the mapping. So in the target chart of account, we have two segments. Target segments are two: company and account. Now we'll just go and do the mapping. Just click on this mapping method and say copy value from source, and target the source segment we have to specify. So company we want to map with the company, and target segment for account, which segment, source segment you want to map. Say copy value from source, account. So company to company, account to account. If company, the segments are totally different, we use account rules to map the accounts, account GL accounts, right? So now we have a similar segment, so you can go with the segment rule mapping. Fine. Now say save and close. So we completed chart of accounts mapping. Now we have to complete the task called as ledger mapping. Okay, you can just search for secondary ledger, then you can see the task. So manage secondary ledgers. Here we have this task. So here you can find the task called as complete primary to secondary ledger mapping. Just click on this task. Okay, so here the mapping whatever we created, that we have to select. The chart of accounts whatever we mapped, those we have to select here. That's all about completing this two ledgers mapping, including chart of accounts mapping. Say save and close. We completed ledger chart of accounts mapping as well as ledger mapping. Now we'll create user called as Google SL secondary ledger. Go to security console. Say add user account. Set password and confirm the same. So add role. We can assign one or two roles to this user, so that once data flows from primary ledger to secondary ledger, from this user will be able to see the data within the secondary ledger. say general accounting manager. When this one role is enough, else if you want to assign one more, yes, you can do it. So we'll assign one more role called as general accountant. Say save and close. I think the password got changed. We'll reset it. Fine. So we created a user and we assigned required roles to this user. Now we have to provide the data access for the user roles. Go to setup and maintenance. Search for the task called as data access for users. Manage data access for users. Click on create. So username is Google SL. Secondary ledger. So select role called as general accountant. Security contest is data access set. Okay. Here we have to assign a secondary ledger. New Google secondary ledger. Just click on add. Google general accounting manager and select security contest as data access set. Okay, new Google secondary ledger. Say save and close. Just click on done. Now we can go and submit the LDAP job. Go to schedule processes, which will take us to ESS job page. Schedule new process. Submit. Fine, it takes some time. Meantime, we'll proceed with other tasks. So now we can log into the instance as a secondary ledger user and we'll go and open the secondary ledger periods. Sign out from the current user. To access secondary ledger, we created a user called as Google SL, and we assigned the roles and we mapped secondary ledger to those roles. So if synchronization is completed, then system will allow us to open the periods, or else we'll wait for some time and we'll do it. Just click on period close. Yes, it is navigating to period close page. Right. So new Google secondary ledger. Just click on this period status. The first period is John. Say OK. Just refresh. Yes. So the first period, Jan 2018, is opened in the current accounting calendar. Now we can select function called as open target period, and you can select the current period as a target period. July month, say open. Okay, done. July period status is open. We completed this task. Now we'll go to the primary ledger and we'll create the journal and post it. Then that has to reflect in the secondary ledger as per secondary ledger chart of accounts conversion. Just sign out from the current user. Okay, log in as a new Google user. So now create one journal in primary ledger. Okay, general accounting. Select task called as journals. Go to task list. So create journal. So select any one of the category. So provide debit account code combination. Just say OK. Say $10,000. Create credit line. Select cash account. Fine. Now you can save this journal and complete it and post. Once you post this, system will verify any mapping is done with the secondary ledger or not. If any mapping is available and it is open in the secondary ledger, the same journal it would report to secondary ledger with only two segments data. Here we could say three segments data, company, department, account. But as per secondary ledger, we have chart of accounts only for company and account. Two segments only we have. Accordingly, it will report. We'll see that. When I click on refresh, here system will display the journal status, posting status, posted. Now we can go and find this journal in secondary ledger. So log into the instance as a secondary ledger user. So username is Google SL, right? That's how we created. Go to journals. So go to manage journals and find journal with accounting period criteria. Select July 2018. Click on search. Here you can find the journal. So we are in secondary ledger. We are able to see the journal which is flowing from primary. Just so you can open that journal and you can look at the account code combination. Based on the mapping, it is reporting only two segments data. Even we have three segments within the primary ledger. Two segments only. Company and account. Then you can post this journal. Done. So this is all about secondary ledger concept. Fine. Next topic is, so let me mark it as done. Journal approvals. So I think before two sessions we tried to implement this journal approvals. Because of instance issue we could not complete it, right? Journal approvals, I think we removed that discussions what we did. Okay, no issues. Fine. It's a very simple configuration. So even within the payables also we just did the configuration for invoice approvals. The same configuration we can follow for journal approvals also. But we'll see what setups required. First we'll go and create the approval group. Okay. So create approval group. To creating the approval group, we can create one simple rule to route the approvals. So create approval rule. The rule say same or less than 10,000 can be approved by the people who are part of this approval group. That's how we're going to define the rule. So after that we have to enable the journal approvals for our ledger. So enable journal approvals for ledger, means primary ledger, and for which source of journals these approvals we want to apply, that we have to specify. So enable journal approvals for sources. So in case of EBS also we do the same setups. We enable journal approvals at ledger level. We specify which is source of journals this should be applicable, and we'll just go and select the people. We'll create the approval limits. Okay, and we have a different profile options to set. That's how we have in EBS. Here, this these two setups same common setups, and here these things simply we can manage with the rule definition. So after completing these setups, we'll create journal and we'll test the journal with approvals. Done. So first we'll go and create approval group. We can search for the task called as approval groups within our project. So we are in secondary ledger user. So you can log into the instance as a primary ledger user. Fine. Go to implementation project. Okay, search for the task called as approval groups. It will navigate us to BPM. So we have a task called as manage approval groups for financials. Click on this task. Okay, manage approval groups for financials. Click on the task. Fine. Say create. Say group name is new Google journal approval group. So add members into this group. Click on add member. We can select the same user. So what you could do is click on search. Just search for our current user only. Select, say OK. The same way you can add multiple members into the same group. Save it. Now we have to create the approval rule. You can just select this task configuration, or else if you want to go with the navigation, this is the task we have to use. Both will open the same page. So you can just click on task configuration. Here find the task related to GL journal approvals. You can find the task configuration as FinGL journal approval. This is the task. Select it. Okay, it's nothing but workflow. We are selecting workflow related to GL journal approval. Select it. Oh, so just running the synchronization. So associated flex field have been modified. It advised to perform the synchronization operation. Fine. Just click on start synchronization. It takes some time. The synchronization process normally takes some time. Uh, Find no issues. Meantime, we'll just go to complete this configuration. So already that selected enabled. Fine. So somebody just marked it as enabled. We'll go and do save it and we'll commit it. And say commit. So as a standard process, what we have to do, we have to select this, then click on edit and go to assignees. This you can scroll little down. Here are the different nodes available within this workflow. So all nodes are disabled. Already we gone through the process of how to enable and disable in case of payables. So yes, this one node is enabled. We'll go with this node. So click on go to rule, select. Okay, here this is a default rule, and apart from that we have two more rules here. So just you can disable or else you can proceed directly. There won't be an issue. We'll just disable these rules. It's already deactivated, and we'll check this. So it's active, deactivated. Fine. Now you can save and do commit. Validation is not required. We didn't define anything, but you may click on validate. System will verify existing rules. Anyway, we are not going to use those. Since we did some changes, you can save and do commit. Fine, done. Now again click on edit. Go to assignees. This is our node which is enabled. You could see in the blue color, that means that is enabled. Just click on go to rule and we'll create our own rule. Click on add. You can give the name as new Google journals. Already we discussed same or less than 10,000, or else you can write it here. Same or less than 10,000. Who can approve that? That's what we are going to define. So we given the name, expand it. So here you can select if clause. If journal amount is same or less than 10,000, who can approve that we can specify. Click on search. Search for journal amount. You can expand this max journal amount folder. Here you can go with any debit or credit. Okay. The max accounted amount credited or debited. Any one you can select, or else you can expand this. Directly you can select, or else normally the recommendation is you can go with a long value selection. Say okay. So if journal total debit amount is same or less than how much, 10,000, directly you should not enter $10,000 here. We have to click on search and scroll a little down. Since we are going to enter the amount, we have to enable constant. Now you have to enter that amount, 10,000. It will take in the proper format into that field. Say okay. Now it will take 10,000 comma 000. Done. So if journal debit total amount is same or less than 10,000, then here go to add action. Go to add approver. Say approval group. Select our approval group. Okay. Then okay, approvals are required by, what's the name we given? New Google, right? Okay. Who are part of this approval group, they can approve it. If journal amount is same or less than 10,000, they can approve. That's it. That is the meaning of this. So we created rule and verify the rule is by default enabled or not. Yes, it's active. Fine. I'll minimize that. Now we have to submit this rule for validation. Just click on validate. Okay, just click on validate. Scroll little down. Here you have a restore panel. Just come down. Scroll little left. Here message, validation message, you can see no validation error or warning found. That means we created rule properly. Okay, now the system still it is running the synchronization process. It may impact this rule definition. We'll see that. So save and commit. Commit is nothing but deployment. Deploy it. Okay, system will complete this process. Meantime, we'll just complete other setups. So we created approval group and we created rule also, right? Now enable journal approvals for ledger. Enable journal approvals for ledger. So search for ledger options. Okay. Specify ledger options. Specify ledger options. Click on. Go to task icon. In ledger options, we have to enable journal approvals. So within this ledger options, so here we have to enable journal approval. Just enable this journal approval. System is giving the message you are enabling journal approval. Before that, you must define the approval rules in approval management. Yes, that we completed. You can say okay. Say save and close. Now you have to go to specify for which source of journals this journal approval should be applicable. Go to journal sources. So manage journal sources. Enable this journal approval is The journal approval should be applicable for GL journals. GL journals means manual journals. The same way if you want to apply this for other source related journals, yes, you can enable it. Sure. Search for manual. Manual means journals which we create in the GL. So here already it's selected. Since it's a vision instance, okay, someone is selected. So if you want to modify it, just you have to click on that. Just click on that, it will open. So you can check or uncheck. Okay. So anyway, make sure that this is enabled for manual source. So save and close. Done. So we complete all the setups, but I think still system is running the synchronization process. That may impact. Just will refresh and we'll check it. Task configuration. So FinGL journal approval. So if you click on edit, see that go to assignees. Yeah, the synchronization is completed. Good. Now you can save and do commit. So now we'll go and create the journal with the 10,000 or less than 10,000. System will allow this user to approve it because this user we have within the approved group. Okay, the rule we created, same or less than 10,000 can be approved by the people who are part of approved group. Okay, let's go and create the journal. Journals. Say create journal. Say okay. You can enter 10 or less than 10. Say I'm entering $8,000. System will allow the same user to approve it. Fine. Say save. Complete. Now here you can see the approval status as required because for this ledger level we enabled approvals. And again for the source called as manual, approvals are applicable. Now submit for posting, it's nothing but submitting for approvals. Click on post. A journal require approvals before it can be posted. Okay. It has been forwarded to the approver. So this system will go and verify the approval rule. As per the rule, it will be routed to the right approver who has approval limits. It should come to this user. Basically, that is, it has to trigger the notification that will come in this bell icon. If not here, this is one option. We'll get a approval notification here to this user. Okay. Other than this, you can find the notification into dashboard. So general accounting. Go to this general accounting task. Here you can find the just not required. From here also you could see that not required to. So here you can see that. So requiring attention. Okay. So basically that journal is created by this user and can be approved by this user. That is the reason that will come under this task. One second. Okay, that notification will come under this tab requiring my approvals. That means the journal will come to this user only for approvals. It may take some time, we'll wait. Okay, I'm just closing this, not required. Okay, we can just sign out and sign in. So basically not required, but just let system take the updates. When you sign in, the new session system will establish. So that's how it will take the updates. So this user should get a approval notification to approve the journal. Any notification here? It may take some time. Okay, at least we can see in this journals work area. Requiring my approvals. May refresh. Okay. So we'll wait for a few minutes. It may take some time since it's the first transaction we created with approvals. The triggering process may take some time. Okay, let's wait for 2 minutes and we'll continue. Okay, just wait for 2 minutes. Fine. So almost we waited for 5 minutes. Now here you can see the notification. There is a notification. Okay, received by this user through BPM workflow. Just click on this bell icon. It will display the notification. So the notification says action required. The journal batch, which is created through manual process with $8,000. Okay, so requires approvals. So this user has an approval limit up to 10,000. So this user can approve or reject. Even the same notification will come here also, but here it is not getting updated. It may take some time. Normally it will come here also. No issues. So from anywhere you can approve it. So you can select this. And if you want to open and see, you can just click on this. It will open the notification. Here it's a blocking. Say show. Say approve. It's approved. Now you can go to journals, manage journals. So you can search with the period. So in the approval group, if you provide other person name, it will be routed to that person, that user. From that user, that once that user is approved, that would get updated. Okay, in this testing process, just we selected current user only. So notification is coming to the same user and we upload from the same user. So we'll go and check the status of the journal. So this is journal, right? $8,000. So once you upload, system is allowed to post also. It's approved and we submitted for posting. After approvals only the posting will happen. Once it's approved, it turn the status to posted. So this is all about journal approvals. Fine. So revaluation, translation, consolidation is all just we'll see in the tomorrow session. If time permits, we'll work on this. Otherwise, day after tomorrow, we'll work on this. And a few pending concepts we have. This we can close in this weekend. So maybe 3 or max 4 sessions we can complete the stuff topics. So that's all for today. Any questions from anyone, please? No questions.